Good afternoon, everybody. It is meteorologist Ainsworth forecast here, guys, and welcome back to another video. This is gonna be another video on what to expect this fall. I'm not gonna do another. I'm not gonna be doing any winter videos today. I'm most likely planning on who will have the coldest winter and who will have the snowiest winter next week, and if not, the weekend after that. But yeah, I hope you guys are all enjoying your Sunday morning. Another week of NFL football. I'm also very excited about this, and hopefully you guys are too. I do apologize. My nose is a little stuffy this morning. It's been like this ever since I woke up. So hopefully it does not like make my talking or anything any different than my other videos. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And again, if you guys have not read to the title of this video, we're going to be seeing who will have the snowiest fall this year, 2019. Yesterday we did who will have the coldest fall. So if you want to go check that out, go ahead and check it out. It was yesterday. So without further ado, let's get in the video. So we are going to be looking at the ENSO outlook here. Again, the new update came out earlier September. And again, I haven't been doing any fall or winter videos within the past weeks because of tropical systems and all that. So again, it is also a great chance because it is new update. So now you guys have more information on what the ENSO outlook is looking. So yeah, we're going to be looking at the summary right now. So here we have ENSO-neutral conditions are present. So we don't have an El Nino and we don't have La Nina. We actually just have a ENSO-neutral, which is in between La Nina and El Nino. We will be getting more into that as we go in the video, and if you guys don't know what any of this means, you will definitely understand it by the end of the video, or hopefully. So what this means is the equatorial sea surface temperatures are above average across the western Pacific Ocean and are below average in the eastern Pacific. So now in the western, or now in the central Pacific, we don't have that much warm water really, because in the past advisory it said western and central Pacific Ocean, but now this cooler waters are starting to become a bit more widespread, which could possibly bring up the chance for La Nina to possibly go up. But again, that is one of the many things that can happen. Again, ENSO-neutral is favored during the Northern Hemisphere fall 2019 with a 75% chance. So again, fall is tomorrow based on what they're saying. The first day of fall is tomorrow. So it's very, very high to continue through the fall because it's tomorrow. So it's not like it's going to change within today. So yeah, it's a very, very high chance to continue through all of fall and winter. So again, that's why it goes to spring, and then it looks like it can continue all the way to spring 2020 with the 55 to 60% chance. So yeah, winter's in between these 2 months. So again, there's a high chance there's actually a higher chance for a neutral to occur this winter. And again, since it is almost fall, they jump 2 seasons ahead, which is spring, like they did in spring. They went ahead for fall, so this is why it is skipping the winter when it says this. So now we're going to be looking at the probability of the La Nina, neutral, and El Nino happening. But first up here it says ENSO-neutral is most likely to continue through the Northern Hemisphere spring 2020. So again, it's just a repeat that it's very likely to continue all the way from now to spring 2020. So again, that's fall, winter, and spring, where we could expect neutral conditions. So now we're going to be looking at the probability of that actually happening. So here we have the model names, the ASO, the Sun, the OND. We have all these other models that are forecasting the probability of what they think could happen. And those are the models, and this is the chance of it happening. So for example, 10% chance, 50% chance, 90% chance. So yeah, all these are the chances. And we see 3 colors. The blue color is La Nina probability. The gray is a neutral forecast probability. And the red is a El Nino forecast probability here. So here we have for every single model, the lowest chance, or the lowest color based on probability is the blue, which again is La Nina. The highest model for La Nina is only a 15% chance, which is not really high whatsoever. So again, La Nina's probabilities actually have gone down just a little bit based on the probability. We have the ASO that has gone down to about 5% chance, and then the Sun has gone down less than 10% chance. These two models actually showed 15 early in the last advisory, but have gone down with this new one a couple weeks ago. And the red one is again a El Nino. That's the second lowest number or the second highest number, either way. And the El Nino probabilities have actually gone down a lot too. So last advisory, all but one model showed 30% chance, right on 30. But now, as you can tell, we have actually had every single model go less than 30. So every single model has gone down by at least a little bit. The ENSO has definitely gone down by about 20%. The sun has gone down by about 15, and then some have just gone down just underneath 30. So again, that is also showing the El Nino probabilities are now going down too. So that brings in the only one to go up is a neutral. And that's why we are saying there's a very good chance, more than 50% chance for it to continue through spring, which is a pretty far jump from now, but it's very likely based on they're really confident this can happen. And now the gray. Now the gray is way, way higher compared to the other colors. Every single model does show above 50. We've actually seen about 2 or about 3 models really go up compared to the last advisory, especially the ESO, which is really surprising, up to an 85% chance. They are really confident that this could happen. The sun is also very confident with a 75% chance, and then the others are about 50 to 60% chance. So again, what you need to know is that it's very likely for a neutral to continue through fall, winter, and spring, or up to spring. Now we're going to be looking at the models here. Again, this is a bit more different. These are a lot more models forecasting. If you guys are wondering what these numbers mean on the side, these are the ONIs. So anything above this is a positive ONI. So this is positive, and then anything below this is a negative ONI. And anything above positive 0.5 Celsius, anything above this is a El Nino. So you guys can see, so you guys understand what this means. Anything below negative 0.5 Celsius, anything below that is a La Niña. So anything below this black line is a La Niña. And then anything in between these lines is a neutral. So as you can tell, we actually have a lot to look at. So in between these black lines, in between these are neutral forecast probabilities. Because the way El Nino is described is 0.5 Celsius or above. And based on this, models are going to be going, oh, I think it's going to be an El Nino, so it's going to be above 0.5 Celsius. So as you can tell, we have about 60% of them, or actually about 65% of the models that are forecasting this to be a neutral. As you can tell, we have a lot of the models in between the black lines, which is a neutral. And you know, it's also surprising. We're going to be focusing on La Nina right now, because actually there is a very good chance we could see a big cool down in the Pacific Ocean, which could cause maybe a bit bigger chance for a La Nina. And with this probability, it looked like it's gone down. But with this, we've actually had a new model that has really gone down to La Nina, up to negative 1.0 Celsius, which is a huge change. And we are seeing a bit more models getting into the negative ONIs. We had, again, they're not super duper close to the La Nina line, but they have gone past the positive and down to the negative, which is a chance that we could have a bit bigger chance. So now we looked at that. We're going to be looking at the water analysis, because you guys keep saying, what do you mean big cool down? What do you mean less warm water in the Western Lake? So that's basically what we're going to be looking at right now, so you guys are like wondering what I mean. So again, so anything from negative 0.5 Celsius is a La Nina. Anything above 0.4 Celsius there is a La Nina or above average, and then anything in between is a neutral. So we're going to be looking at the Pacific, and this is actually a big change right here, guys. We actually do have a huge difference in the Western and Central Pacific. If you guys checked out last, like 3 weeks ago, last time I did this type of video, there were extremely warm waters right here in the Western Pacific and Central Pacific. But now look at this. We have little spotches of slightly warmer or slightly warm waters. They are still above average, but they are beginning to cool down. We had darker colors, like this type of color in here, and now you can see there are more white splotches coming in between these circles, in between these areas of warm waters, which is also affecting the chances of a La Nina or El Nino. And we are seeing a huge cool down. So we're definitely seeing these cooler waters start to push out and push these warmer waters. We also are seeing a huge cool down for the Western Pacific, which could also make a big change if they meet and the warmer waters come here. That will cause a La Nina, which can completely change my maps if it becomes La Nina. So that's why it's a big deal. And then we have this huge area right here with huge cool down, like a very dark blue color, which is a very below average. This is one of the main factors what it's doing, because it is basically bringing in some more widespread cooler waters to come in warmer waters, and especially right here is where we're definitely seeing that big cool down. Again, if this becomes widespread and pushes and these switch, that will bring La Nina conditions again, which will change my maps. Now, for the people saying, what does the El Nino? I know what El Nino means, but now what does it bring to the country? So what it does, it brings a subtropical jet stream up through Mexico and through the southern United States into the Gulf, and that actually brings subtropical conditions, in which it does bring in very wet conditions for much of the southern country, but especially more for the southwest. So I get a lot of, when I do during the summer or spring, when I do videos on huge warm-ups, you guys are saying in the west, I can't get over this heat, it's just so exhausting. Well, then you guys are going to want an El Nino for a winter. It's going to bring wetter conditions, way more precipitation, and definitely a bit more of a cool down, and a lot more precip, so it won't be dry in the winter. So if you're in the southwest, you definitely want an El Nino. And if you're in the south central, or sorry, if you're in the deep south, and you're tired of the warm-ups in the winter, so no snow, only rain, then you're going to want an El Nino too. So that will also bring in cooler conditions, a lot more snow in the deep south for Houston, for New Orleans, for Jackson, Mississippi, for Tallahassee, maybe even Savannah, Georgia, and then anything above this will probably see snow more often, obviously, when it's not an El Nino year. And then that will bring the opposite conditions for the United States. The opposite part of the United States. So for the northern part of the country, it will bring warm. So for the Midwest and the northern plains, and then it will also bring in dry conditions for the Ohio Valley. Now, last thing we're gonna be looking at until my map is the La Nina condition. So you guys are wondering what a La Nina will bring. So again, you guys also know what a La Nina is, but now you guys are wondering what are the conditions. As you can guess, it does bring in the opposite conditions as an El Nino. So it brings in very dry conditions for the deep south to the southwest. So definitely you do not want a La Nina if you're tired of the dry conditions in the deep south and southwest. You guys definitely are going to stick with the El Nino. But again, this sucks is that it will bring in a very widespread area of dry conditions, less precip, less snow. Again, just in general, less precip. And then it also brings in very warm conditions for the southeast area to the parts of the plains into southern Texas, and then that of course brings in wet conditions for the Ohio Valley and the Pacific Northwest, and also does bring in a lot more snowstorms for the Ohio Valley. When this cool mixed with the wet, it causes a lot of snow areas for the Northeast too, and all that, because it does bring that polar jet, and we'll see definitely a lot more polar jet streams and all that. Well, again, we're going to see cooler conditions for the northern plains too with this high pressure system. Now for my map. So again, this is my map, so who will see the snowiest fall, and of course I'm going to explain the colors here. So if you're in the dark blue, you will see let's go with quite a snowy fall based on average. So all the way from the mountains of Montana, Idaho, Washington, these areas in Oregon, Utah, all the way to the Lubbock or the Amarillo area in Texas. Again, guys, winter does not really officially start till December 21st. So this is a very widespread time in Texas, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, even areas in New Mexico. You guys all see snow mostly before December 21st. Of course, obviously the areas in the mountains there though. So again, that goes through Oklahoma, Arkansas, through I think we're gonna have a bit more, just a tiny bit more snow in the southeast area and mid-Atlantic this maybe even a bit earlier than usual. So that's why I had those areas in the southeast in the blue, and that goes up the east coast to Maine. Now for a snowy, so this is snowy for snowy winter, or sorry, fall. And the purple, that's from Minnesota, Montana. I'm sorry, that is blue dot. That's supposed to be purple. Through Idaho or the West Yellowstone area, through Colorado, past Cheyenne, through Wichita area, through Missouri, through a bit northern part of Kentucky there, through West Virginia and up the Mid-Atlantic area, and up the New England area. So it stops right at the southern part of Maine. And now who will have the snowiest fall? Again, this is a new update, new map. This is who will have the snowiest fall based on what the information I have now and what I gave you is here in the pink. So this is, if you're in the pink, look for your county, look for your city, look for your area and your state, and look what color you're in. If you're in the pink, good news or bad news. Good news is you get a lot of snow, and bad news, if you don't like snow, then that's bad news. So again, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minneapolis area, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, a little part of West Virginia in the mountains, Northern Virginia near the DC area, Maryland, New Jersey, all the way to Massachusetts, Vermont, and the New York area. That's where I think we'll have the snowiest fall based on the average for your fall. Again, doesn't mean you're gonna get Wisconsin's gonna get more snow than Idaho, because usually Idaho gets a lot more snow in the fall. Wisconsin might get a lot more in the winter though, because again, we're already having about 2 to 3 feet in these areas right now, so it's crazy. And now the dark orange in the west, I think that's where we'll have a bit less snow this fall. Again, kind of sucks, but yeah, it's looking like one of those neutrals we're gonna have there in the west. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.